How's it, everybody, and a warm welcome to the Web3 show. Freestyle Friday. I got my man Cade with us. Let's pull him up here. Looking forward to an action-packed show. Lots of news, lots of stuff to talk about.
Yo.
Cade, how are you?
What's up, dude? Yo, you keep getting lower every stream. Your head is lower on the fucking screen. Why do you have so much space above your head?
I like it that you can see my on-air sign.
Huh?
But so that's why I do it. How you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. I just got this one of the first times in a very long time that I got a full calorie Java drink. I usually get 0 calories, but I wanted to try the coffee flavor. It is good, bro. It's really good.
Cheers, my brother.
Cheers,
to another week, another Friday.
Cheers. Let's do it.
All right, so we've got lots to talk about. Let's get straight into it. A reminder that nothing we say is financial advice. We are not financial advisors, and you should always do your own research. If you aren't already, subscribe to our YouTube channels. Lots of alpha. Yeah, the biggest alpha is we got George with a new banner here, which I absolutely love. Let's fucking go.
Right?
Isn't very, it very
dude,
nice.
I'm so happy with it. And look at those thumbnails, bro. Fuck.
Looking good. Looking good. You know what I like about it? It's got a style to it that's consistent and that sort of stands out. That's different from other people. I'm sure people will start copying you, but in the end of the day, it does stand out now. And when you see it, you sort of think, okay, that's Cade, which is cool. So I really like
the reason I do it is because I want, like I always say with my videos, very specific with like how I want to be perceived. So when a business owner or a company sees me and is potentially going to sponsor me or something, I need them to look at my channel and be blown away. So I actually 100%. Have to redo that thumbnail right there. That featured video needs to be updated.
I saw that, yeah. So for sure, but definitely looking good. You're on the right track for sure. Well, you know more than me on your YouTube side. All right, let's have a look over here. We're looking at June.com, June Analytics. So we do see that last month we closed the lowest since June as far as OpenSea volume. I think it's very important to point out that at this point over here, all of these months pretty much until about December, there was really only OpenSea. And now this volume is being shared. So we're going to jump onto DApp Radar as well and just have a look at what the other marketplaces are doing. If we have a look at monthly volume in Ethereum terms, last month and the month before were pretty much the same in Ethereum terms.
Back in like 30 seconds.
No problem. Yeah, good. Then if we look at OpenSea daily volume, we can see yesterday we did 10 million. The day before we did 13 million. And the day before 15 million. So we really had this 20 million candle was Art Gobblers. And then from then, we've been slowly tracking down back to our usual average. Today's not over yet, so this candle doesn't really matter. If we look at OpenSea daily volume, we see in ETH terms, same story that we were talking about over there, the Gobblers. And now they've died off. Actually, quite a lot of controversy going on there. And we're seeing a pullback. They're now sitting at around 8.5 Ethereum. Then we look here. Polygon, after we had the Reddit, you see October was an incredible month for Polygon. If you look at that compared to the months before. So that was all the Reddit NFTs. What's going to be very interesting is to see what this month closes at on the Polygon side. So how much of this Reddit mania carries through and carries forward?
Yeah, that one's going to be interesting.
I'm
not sure what to expect there, honestly. Like, I definitely looked at Reddit more as like I don't know if culture is the right word, but more as like a signal for the future rather than like which NFTs to buy. I wasn't really focused on that. I'm not like I said, I'm not a big trader, but that's kind of where I was looking. And so it will be interesting to follow the Reddit stories and see where the trends go with that one.
For sure. And I think it's only positive for the space. I really do. So many people having a positive experience with NFTs, whether they know they're NFTs or not. And for big business to see Reddit successfully launch a Web3 campaign that had very little FUD and was only positive and actually is consistent with their brand image and Reddit's plan for the future and their vision as a company, it really is a case study to other big businesses, especially online or social businesses that are looking how they can do it. I think Reddit will be a case study for them. Definitely bullish on this for the space for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
If we have a look yesterday, OpenSea volume, let's just call it 10 million. Magic Eden, 6.5 million. So we have seen a pump in the last 24 hours on Magic Eden because of the Utes reveal, which is going on currently. So that's brought Magic Eden back nicely. We're looking CryptoPunks alone did 2 million yesterday. X2Y 1.7 million. One marketplace that isn't on DAP radar is Blur. But I know that they were at about 2 million in the last 24 hours. So we've got to add that in. So if we add it all together, we're over 20 million, which is better than we've been for a very long time. You look here, 10 plus 6 is 16.5, plus 2 is 18.5, plus 1.5 is 19, 20, 21 million up to looks rare here. And we're not including Blur. So that's about $23 million. That's better than it has been.
Come on in.
It's been 20 or just under 20 the whole time.
Yo.
And then if we have a look over here, we've got Bitcoin sitting at 21,000, Ethereum sitting at 1,643. So we've really seen a nice pump up the last 24 hours at the very least. And we've seen the same in the stock market over here. So we're seeing the NASDAQ, S&P 500, a lot more green, right? A lot more green than red. So the last 24 hours have been pretty good. But since we met last week, Cade, the stock market is overall on the week down about 1.5% since last Friday on average for this week. Yeah. So yeah, we pulled a little bit back today, but still down on the week on the stock market. Yet we up on the week on crypto, which is interesting. So it's maybe the beginnings of
you're right.
It may be the beginnings of a de-pegging. Because we were about 1.5 something last Friday.
Ago.
So
no, 12 hours ago it was, dude.
Yeah, for sure. But also last Friday. So I'm saying to you that we've had about a 7 to 10% increase in ETH in the last week. Yet we've had a 1.5% decrease on the NASDAQ and S&P 500. So that could be the beginning of Ethereum, Bitcoin going back on their own path and not following the markets, or not. We'll see what happens next week and the week after. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's way too early to tell.
Yeah. But definitely interesting because, if you've been looking at it week on week, usually if the market's down on the week, crypto's down on the week. And if the market's up on the week, crypto's up. So it's interesting. If we start to consistently see this, then it might be that we're going away from being pegged to the stock market.
Yeah, no, that's actually true. I haven't been paying too much attention to that as much. I guess I've kind of been focused on the back end of like the business, so I haven't been paying attention too much to. Hey, thank you, I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm like in the middle of the stream. I had the bug guy coming through, just double check my apartment. But yeah, no, I've been focusing way more on the business, especially the last like 48 hours. That's like where my brain is at right now. I've been making some like digital products I think will be really helpful. But as far as like market, I mean this is why I'm here in this show, because these are the things that I don't know about that Philip has the alpha on, because I don't have it. I wonder, I actually am curious to know for the people who are watching, like what y'all pay attention to on like the day to day, like what are the things you pay attention to, and then why you come to this stream? Like what is it from this stream that you guys like to listen to? Because we'll definitely, like attribute that to the show and try to add things in there. Because like I don't know if people want more trading stuff, because if they do, then I'll like start to focus a little bit more on that, so I can contribute to the conversation there. What is your favorite thing to talk about though, Philip, on the show?
I like it all. I like the mixture. I think it's important to have a bit of a macro of what's going on. So that's why we look at the markets. And then I like to look at the macro of the NFT markets, which is what we're going to do over now. And then the news stories and projects, and then talk about anything. I like it. I like it all. I think it's a good mixture.
Yeah, me too. We need to get sponsored, bro. It'll come.
Let's see what's trending. So in the last 24 hours, we've got Chromie Squiggles sitting at the top. We got Art Gobblers number 2, but
Yeah.
they're trending downwards. And I think that that's really important for people to understand. Even on OpenSea or anywhere where you see the most volume, don't think just because they're number 4 that they're going to be going up.
Yep.
When a project's dumping, it trends also, because there's a lot of volume being traded, but the wrong way. And that's what's happening at the moment with Art Gobblers. We're seeing them at 8.66. They were sitting at about 15 ETH yesterday, and they were sitting at about 20 ETH the day before. And what's happened here, Cade, is there has been some allegations against the founder about child pornography
I did hear about
stuff.
this. Yeah.
So I'm trying to put it sensitively. It reminds me a little bit of the Jungle Freaks situation. So another thing that happened is Andrew Wang apparently was pretending to be a 13-year-old artist in the space on Twitter.
Dude, what the
and
fuck
he,
was that?
And he was talking with the founder of our Gobblers, and the founder started asking him all explicit tweets and, let me gobble over you and a lot of really horrible stuff. But he thought he was a 13-year-old. So look, I mean, I don't know. This is like everyday changes. That's why if you've got an opportunity to make great profit, you should sell it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know the extent of the truth behind the allegations, but Andrew Wang, I do know, is quite notable in the space, and I don't think he would, make things up. But you never know anything. All I know is that this is trending downwards at the moment, and I think if this stuff is true, then this will eventually die out to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, so like I said, I've been focused on the business the last couple of days. So I've been as active on Twitter. I've been active enough to know that there was some drama. All I saw on Twitter's timeline yesterday was just, they're like, oh my God, like I hate this, I hate that. Like, why is the space so negative? And I was like kind of confused what was going on. And then in relation to Art Gobblers, I want to draw attention to Rugrats. I'm sure, Philip, you remember that project. Remember when they dropped and everyone was really excited because they like had some value the first few days. We're like, holy shit, like, I can't believe they pulled it off. What a dub. And then they crashed, and Art Gobblers is already cut in half, and it's like, whoa, that was fast, bro. And I think it's because of that. It's such high speculation with such a big promise of rewards that don't make any sense, that it just sounds too good to be true. And in this kind of market, I just don't think we have the capacity to like pull that off, versus in a bull run, too good to be true is almost always going to happen, right? Like everything you hope could happen, like literally has a chance. Versus now, I think I'm like 1 for 6 on mints that even have gone up a fraction since mint day, which isn't the best way to judge if a project's doing well, but it's kind of a decent way to measure like interest and demand in the project. And I don't know, man, I'm not sure. What do you think about Art Gobblers? Like, what is your prediction for the next few weeks?
Look, I think this throws a spanner into the works. These new allegations. If true, I think it could be a very big problem for them, because Julian is really the face behind the project. You don't want FUD at this stage. Before this FUD, or this, truth, I really don't know. Before all of this, I was really quite bullish on them. They've got a huge venture backing. The way they laying out the collection is slowly. So yes, you will get to 10,000, but you need 50 goop to get more goops, to get more gobblers. It takes a long time to get 50 goops. So you sort of ensure that it's rolled out slowly. You can show the art in the tummies of the gobblers, which I think is also quite cool and new. And if you get the right collabs on board with that and have like really big art in the stomachs, that could really have a double, triple floor price sales on a consistent basis, which is always good for a collection as well.
Right.
So I was really bullish on them across the board. I mean, I did that video 7-8 weeks ago, which has actually blown up in the last 3 days.
Yeah, dude,
the Art Gobblers review. Yeah. Because, but we even the notes there say like this could be one to watch, and that where we saw what happened when other projects got venture funding of this amount, they were at a 15 ETH floor. That's what my description says. And these guys were at a 15 ETH floor. So yeah, I was really, really bullish. I don't like the allegations. If they are true, then I don't think anyone should support this project. But again, I haven't look. I'm not judge and jury, so I haven't looked at it enough to be able to say, yes or no, this is what happened for sure. It's all hearsay at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the art. I mean, like I covered it on my channel as well. I think yesterday, or the day before, on a live stream, and kind of broke it down what was important through my. It was a tea time episode, solo, and I kind of broke it down. The art thing was interesting because it's like the thing, like everything that they had laid out as far as like how the ecosystem would works if people like adopt it. If the market says, okay, this is lit, we like it. But if people don't care about it and the floor starts going down and people lose interest, and then it just becomes another thing that happened, then it pretty much is just gonna be fucking like useless again, just like every other project.
Yeah.
So
I think the space, as you know, Cade, like it's already got a short attention span. And then if you throw like proper serious allegations into the mix, and as you say, people like lose interest, then it's done before it started. I do think that I'm always hesitant and a bit concerned when there's tokens involved, because we know, you and I, bro, we know what happens when there's a token. Everyone gets paid for the first couple of weeks, amazingly, and then it's just not sustainable, But I mean, you can just see here how the volume has just died.
Yeah,
I mean, these dots represent
crazy
sales. It's just literally died. Like no one wants to buy, and that is why you've got the floor price dropping, because people are wanting to get out, but no one is really wanting to get in, right?
Yeah,
and there's another interesting thing: offers versus listings. You're seeing more listings than offers at the moment. So yeah, I mean, definitely short term, we can see the trajectory is going down. I mean, even this chart is predicting it over here. It remains to be seen what happens long term. But even before the allegations, 20 ETH was not sustainable. I mean, I did that interview with Kosha on Wednesday. You were there. Thank you so much for helping with the camera. And I said to him, sell. That was when it was 20.
He had
said,
one?
I'm not sure what to do. I said to him, sell. Oh, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying, like even before the allegations came out, it was obvious. And I think we even spoke about it. I don't know if it was you and me who spoke about it, but it was just obvious that it was not sustainable, and now you compound that with these serious allegations.
What do you think they'd be at without the allegations? Like,
I think they'd be about 12, 13.
Do you think it would have crashed though? Like, why is it not sustainable? Why did Moonbirds succeed but not Rick and Morty?
Well, Moonbirds didn't. Moonbirds was on 30 ETH, and you can now pick them up for 8.5 Ethereum.
Well, yeah, but that's months later. Like when it was happening, they went from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40.
Yeah, so when I
35.
say sustainable, I say that the 15, 20 ETH floor is not sustainable.
Yeah.
So you look.
No,
at
I agree.
Moonbirds
I agree. I'm just trying to figure out like what it was about Moonbirds that got like I don't know what the difference was. Why it was able to shoot to 40 ETH and continue climbing. Before they dropped their little handbag purse and crushed their brand.
There you had Kevin Rose, who has
this is Rick and Morty, bro. What do you mean, Rick and Morty?
No, but Kevin Rose is a Web3 native.
Yeah,
he
true,
also has, he also has that podcast, which is, he's been in the space and is very connected. Also the venture funding, which you have on both of them, but he also has the main collection, the Proof Collective, which was sitting at 100 ETH. So he had a lot more on the Web3 going for him, whereas Julian has a lot more in Web2 going for him, right? What else he has going for him is that the art meta is pumping. I love this website.
True.
The art meta is pumping at the moment. And you can even draw your own ones and put it in the tummy. And
I like that. I like the drawing part. Like if I ever do a collection, like I think I've told you before on the channel, I want to do like a PFP soulbound token thing attached to my access key NFTs. And for that, like I want to have a really cool avatar, and I would like to have ideally some type of customization. Like I'm hoping by the time I do it, they it's like somewhat easy for me to manually do this on my own, but like make an NFT, have like the general framework of it created, but then let whoever's going to mint that NFT or be rocking the NFT to be able to alter it a little bit and kind of have a little bit of customization. Because I want to have like the basic thing down, so it's not totally different from everyone. But when you get your access key, I don't want you to have to be forced to use the PFP that's attached to it if you didn't like that PFP, and because the person who made it before has a different taste than you. And I want to be able to just have those NFTs, and people will be able to pick them out and be like, damn, like you got one of those. It's kind of like with Utes, like right now, like people are seeing the revealed Utes, and everyone's like, holy shit! Like, I mean, I've seen positive sentiment so far. I think they're really cool, and I just want it to be like something when they see it, you're like, holy shit, you got one of those PFPs. That's really, really cool. It's really exclusive, and so
yeah, for sure. I get it. I think I think there's a lot of cool concepts here that that we hadn't seen before. But again, the FUD is serious, bro. Very, very serious.
True.
I mean, like
that's fucked, bro. That's some fucked up. That's some
pedophilia is not great. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like rape's not great, murder's not great, pedophilia is not great. You know what I mean? It's like up there with all of that. I see Kevin saying over here, this is crap, 15 to 8 ETH in a day. Yeah, so that's what people have to understand. Any new project, no matter how notable the founder or whatever it may be as far as in the Web2 world, has got that risk in the beginning. And unless it's been around for a good couple months and been battle tested in the NFT space, you've got that risk. And I learned my story, I learned my lesson with Jungle Freaks. So I was involved there. Jungle Freaks was by the guy who did Larry, who did the Hustler magazine cartoons. So very Larry Flint, I think. I don't know. And so very notable guy. Came out with a cool collection. Everyone was talking about them, sitting at a couple of ETH. And I bought in at the top. I was new to NFTs. I wanted to be a part of it. And then comics came out of him drawing racist stuff and things like that. And the floor died. Like, yes.
Philip, why didn't you watch my YouTube video? Remember that? I made a video breaking it down the week before it happened. And I said, I don't know about this, guys. There's no reason this project should be pumping this hard. This artist is not that cool. And then the next week, fucking just gets wrecked. And I was like, wow. You remember that? Like every influencer was saying, this is a blue chip. This is the blue chip. This is the blue chip. This is the one. And
so
I was like,
I obviously
why?
wasn't following you, Cade. I wasn't following you at the time because I would have seen it and I didn't see it. But yeah, just want to shout out. I know this is a big shout out for both Cade and I. Bryce, man, good to see you. So good. You haven't been on my stream for so long. I watched you a bit with Cade the other day, man. So good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for saying hello.
Hell yeah.
All right. So enough about Gobblers. Let's get into some news. Cade, you ready?
Yes. Let me lock my door. It's like 3 feet away. Just want to make sure it's locked while we're streaming.
Yeah. Lock your door. Everyone lock your doors. We're getting into the latest news. All right. So we got Meebits over here. Meebits is the... I don't want to call it a sister collection to CryptoPunks, but anyone who owned a CryptoPunk was able to mint a Meebit. And as we know, Yuga bought Lava Labs, and now Meebits is owned by Yuga Labs, which are the BORED APE Yacht Club guys. And, you know, for the longest of time, nothing has happened with Meebits whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. Like literally for over a year. Nothing has happened with them. And about 3 or 4 months ago, we had Golden Ghana, one of the founders of Yuga, say that they were switching on Meebits. They're focusing on Meebits. And this finally started to happen. So basically, you've got this website over here that you can go to. Once you switch it on, it completely changes, which is really, really cool. So from what I used to feel was really quite ugly NFTs, you've now got this proper 3D Meebit version, which is really, really cool. You can get a poster of your particular Meebit, and it also is hinting at other stages. So this is just Meebit 1.1. And then it shows Meebit 1.2, but you can't see what's going to happen there. And Meebit 1.3. So they're showing in their way, which Yuga is really good at doing. They're showing that they're now focusing on Meebits. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to focus on the other NFTs in their ecosystem. They've got a team for everything. So a Meebits team, a Bored Ape Kennel Club team, other side team. But it's just showing any holder that, look, now we're just beginning. We're just starting, right? So they've got this really cool website. You can claim for the next 2 weeks if you are a holder of Meebits. You can connect your wallet and claim your collectible poster. So if you buy off the floor, just be careful because it might have already been claimed if that was part of the reason that you're buying. You've also got this cool music that I know you guys can't hear, but we can. And there's also the Meebits app that's been launched. So just in general, really cool in the Yuga signature style for the Meebits website over here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just nice for guys who have been holding and been waiting for a long time to see that Meebits is getting a bit of attention.
Yeah, I think anytime you go through probably like a 2 to 3 month little lag or a lull in between any of the bottom projects from Yuga, like the Kennel Club or Meebits or one of those, you pretty much, if you have the ability to, you pretty much should be picking those up and just wait for the attention, some kind of announcement. It does. There's no option for it not to pump up. The only one that maybe not is like the other deed because we're so far away from that being a play. But as far as the PFPs, I mean, dude, you're one tweet away from a 2 ETH pump on any of those projects just because of their Yuga. So, I mean, after this, there's probably going to be quite a dump, I assume, after this kind of this claim period,
there
right?
wasn't such a pump, Cade, which was quite interesting. Because this is really bullish, because this clarifies that, yes, they are doing stuff with them. And it went from about 2.9 to 3.4. That was the extent of it. Right.
I guess it's not as good as I thought, but
so there's not going to be such a dump either because there wasn't such a pump. But I mean, yeah, I was quite surprised. I would expect it to go a little bit higher on the back of this. So here they're saying there's going to be 9 releases to Meebits, and this is the site that's going to launch all of those. For now, come and play. So you can go in with your Meebits, and there's a member-only section where you guys can dance, which reminds me a little bit of Bored Ape Yacht Club with their wall in the beginning that you could write on the wall, you know, like their own private little club. So
they're building it out, dude. Like, this is what's exciting.
Yeah,
is like all this is a signal. It's like a signal. It's like, hey, they're gonna pay attention in Meebits now or at some point. So this is just like, okay, like obviously they haven't built out the brand, they haven't built out the community around Meebits. Nobody cares yet. But they're starting that. And I'm like, okay, well, this is probably the start of that wave. And the same with the Kennel Club. I'm going to try and snag a Kennel Club before any of that stuff happens.
I'm also watching. I'm wanting to get in, and it's slowly going down and down. I'm
What's
waiting.
That right now?
It's 4.7 or 4.8. Somewhere last I checked a few hours ago. I'm watching. So the other thing that they clarified here, which we knew, but they clarified, is that you've got full commercial rights on your NFT, which is the way Yuga always does it. And that was the big criticism of CryptoPunks when it was owned by Lava and not by Yuga, was that you didn't have rights to your CryptoPunks. Mm-hmm. But here they're clarifying that you officially have commercial rights as of the 15th of August, 2022. And they carry on. There's a lot of, they've really shown that they have been focused on this in the background, and they've rolled out as you said, the beginning of what's going to be a really cool journey for Meebits and anyone who owns them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I don't have too much to say about the Meebits ecosystem. Yeah, I need to do a breakdown of them. Like, I don't know if there is that much information, but for Meebits, like, it would probably be good to do like another little Yuga ecosystem breakdown. I don't know. I haven't been paying as much attention to the Yuga ecosystem.
Not much. But if you've done one in the last 3 or 4 months, nothing's fucking changed at all, except for Meebits. That's literally it. But they've been aggressively hiring in the background. That's one thing. And they've been splitting up the teams and trying to make each team able to work independently of the 1 or 2 founders to clear the bottleneck that comes from them now having 6 or 7 projects. They got CryptoPunks, Meebits, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, the Kennel Club, and Other Deed, right? Other side. So that's 6 different divisions. They're now at 90 staff members, full-time staff members, and each of them is going to be focused on their own project. And I think they also want to do everything they do properly from now. I was listening to a Spaces, it wasn't a Spaces, a podcast or something with them, and they were saying gone is the day that we're rushing out something and then put out something substandard. Now more is expected. The space has changed, and you can't just willy-nilly throw stuff out. You really have to execute on a high level and give quality. And I think we are seeing that with their first step in Meebits, the way that they've gone about it,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they've raised so much goddamn money already. I'm like, I don't know how you possibly could need more money. Like, I literally have no idea what they could be using that. I mean, I know they have a little bunch of staff members and stuff, but I'm like, yeah, but like, what are y'all rolling out that costs so much damn money? Like, they literally, how much are they valued at? Like 4 billion right now?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, what the fuck? All y'all have done is sell other shit. I'm like, when are you gonna do something? I mean, I know they're building it, but it's just like, I mean, okay, never mind. We'll see. If they win, then it'll make total sense.
The 90 people that work there all sit there like this at their desks all day. They don't do anything else, just like this.
They just tell people they're building like everybody else.
What are you doing? No, we're building.
Building.
No, look, I'm sure they are building. I really am sure they are. Yeah, they've raised hundreds of millions. Probably about $1 billion from their raise with venture capital, and the sale of other deeds was massive, but they haven't had access to the funds, hey, from the other deed sale, because remember it was locked up in ApeCoin, and at the time of the sale, it was worth a hang of a lot more when ApeCoin was $25 than when ApeCoin is $5, which is currently under $5. So that's literally hundreds of millions that has gone. But what's nice about that is that they have a very clear incentive to make ApeCoin pump, because
as does everybody else. All the big marketplaces pumped it in the beginning. When BORED APE was another massive thing, everyone's going to pump it because they want people to trade on their thing. I think dollar cost your way into ApeCoin is probably a decent play, of all the, unless you've done the research on the other coins and you're doing it with crypto. But if you just have like a broader understanding of crypto, but the NFT land, then for a fact that ApeCoin is probably the only crypto coin that you would put your hopes in. If you're an NFT land, at least,
So, yeah, I mean, I agree here. Like, why don't projects pay investors or their investors in another currency instead of their native token? Because when the project launches, you get all these pre-sellers dumping, and then the average guy gets left sort of holding the bag. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and I think that's why they do it, is so they can cash out at the top. However, it's very important to say that with BORED APE, they didn't access those funds. It's locked in ApeCoin. I also think the fact that they knew that they were going to be audited by the SEC or investigated, they have done what they've said, I would assume, because they knew this was coming, and now there's an SEC investigation happening. They're not going to touch that money where it clearly said that they weren't going to touch it. But yeah, I do agree with you. Most smaller projects, the founders get to cash out at the very, very top with their token, which is not the way to do it for sure. Then, Cade, I don't know if you saw this, my brother. This is quite bullish.
I heard something about this.
Yeah, it's really bullish, man. So we got Sorare partnering with the Premier League, $30 million deal to launch their own NFT platform where you'll be able to trade the different players in NFT form, which is really, really cool. And I mean, the Premier League is massive. And this is really, really bullish for the space. They are doing their fantasy sort of soccer game as NFTs on Sorare, which is so cool.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like the way this plays out, because the way I see everything in this world, like this type of thing where it seems like they're gonna be selling NFTs of like cards or of some kind of collectible of these soccer players, like most of them, if not all of them, are gonna be pretty much worth nothing, And so is it going to be like the VV collectibles where a very select few for a few months probably will be worth a lot and then it'll crash back down? I think it'll play more like Pokemon did, where Pokemon's IP is so fucking worldwide and huge that the big companies and brands that already have that big brand established, this will just be their collectible version, which they already have with the cards. and like those cards carry a certain amount of value, but there's also like 99% of the cards are worth a cent or 10 cents, you know. And I think maybe that the NFTs could just become that, and people have all this. The scary thing is that a lot of people attribute NFTs to money. So I think if all these companies come in thinking, oh, like all we have to do is drop this thing and we'll make $100 million, it's like, well, I don't know if that's even the mindset you should have going in. Maybe more just like brand awareness and building influence in the world is more of the goal, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's a cash grab. The Premier League is incredibly well funded. I think they truly see it as a good technology for what they're wanting to do. They're wanting to get people involved, get your favorite player, trade, follow the games on your computer, and with everything being recorded on the blockchain. I think that's my gut. I mean, obviously, I don't know anything about it, but I do really believe that that's the intention. And I think if they can show the same with Reddit, if the Premier League can show that this works well, and that will remain to be seen, then it's bullish. It's bullish for the technology in general, because if the Premier League can pull it off well and it has a good effect on the people watching and the viewers, then you'll see other big tournaments and other big organizations, sporting wise, doing the same. Yeah. So I think it's definitely a watch the space and how they do it. But look, $30 million is a decent sized deal. I mean, they're proper going for this, you know. If it was a cash grab, there's nothing invested, and you want to get as much money out. Yeah, they're putting money in, you know.
Yeah. Will you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah.
Keep going. Dash to trade. Oh my god, that's so weird. Okay, you see that ad right there? Dash to trade. That's one of the. You see it right there?
Yeah, I see it.
That's one. I think that's one of the projects that I'm making a review video for. I'm like 90% sure. And then the one on the right, the Game of Silks ad. That's a project that I've reviewed before, like 6 months ago, and they crushed it. They crushed it. They paid for a really honest review. And I'm 90% sure that they got VC backed, and they blew my expectations out of the water.
Very nice.
I just noticed them on the side of the website.
Very, very nice. I think we need to talk about this, Cade. We've got a couple of things within the Twitter ecosystem that we got to talk about. Some good, some not so good. Put on your helmet, because I'm going to be ranting a little bit. But let's start without the rant. So let's just talk about Twitter Blue for $8 a month. I know a lot of people are ranting at this. I'm not ranting at this. I think that this is great. It serves so many purposes. You know, they can offer you Twitter Blue. All you need to do is KYC. So you have to show who you are. And the nice thing about that is that anyone who's got the blue check mark really does get noticed, and it is a bullish thing on Twitter, a very bullish thing. So if you use Twitter for business in any way, you want the blue tick. $8 a month for most people who would have value with a blue tick is not a huge amount of money. So I think it's great. And Twitter for too long has not been.
Hold on. I don't think you get the blue verification for $8 a month. You still have to get verified, but you have to have Twitter Blue. But you don't also get the check mark. The check mark comes the way it always did, but you have to have Twitter Blue to even qualify for it. And then you also pay on top of it. So Twitter Blue, I believe, is still being paid for, but for 90% of people, you're not going to get the verification. And so I don't know how it's going to go, because all other social media platforms don't charge just to play, and Twitter now is. So I'm not sure how this is going to play, but.
Yeah. So my understanding, and I could be wrong, my understanding is that you can get verified for $8 a month if you KYC. And the reason he's doing that, and this is my understanding, I stand to be corrected, but I'm pretty sure the reason he's doing that is because he then knows who you are, right? Or Twitter then knows who you are. So if you then spam someone or scam someone or whatever, he can remove that check mark, but the person that's been scammed will also have recourse with Twitter, because they now know it's Cade Bergman living wherever. Yeah. So that's why it's sort of a win-win, and that's why he was saying it's going to allow them to get rid of the bots, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because why? Because Musk tweeted he's revamping the verification process that powers the social media platform. For the first time in Twitter's history, Musk plans to start charging users to maintain the check mark by marking up Twitter Blue. Okay, so he's integrating the check mark into Twitter Blue.
If you're verified, yes.
The blue check mark doesn't necessarily equate to credibility, especially when it comes to social media. At the beginning of the year, so with Elon taking over, we know for its support, Twitter planned to verify ownership with the help of OpenSea and other parties. The number of blue check marks shot up. The hexagon-shaped NFT became a new status symbol. Mixed results from NFT. I think it's definitely got something to do with verified wallets, Cade.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I heard a couple different things the last couple days as well. And then in the TikTok fam, because I'm streaming this on TikTok as well. You're 24. Can you take trend? I would not. If you're an average Discord mod, is taking trend going to help you out? I don't think taking steroids is going to help you as a Discord mod. Thoughts on Hasbullah? Dude, wait, do you have any thoughts on Hasbullah? Do you know Hasbullah?
No.
Bro, stop. You don't know who Hasbullah is? The little kid, the Russian kid who's like 25 years old, but he looks like a 5-year-old. He's like viral. He like for all these fighting things. Okay, well, anyways, my thoughts on Hasbullah. I think it's weird that he's 25 and people treat him like he's 7 and he acts like he's 7. It's weird, but it's fine. He's playing into the role for social media. It's fine.
Right, so we got here. It says the $8 is the first step. Many crypto experts feel Elon will implement Dogecoin. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting onto next. Is first of all, this was from Elon Musk saying they're trying to destroy free speech in America. A free speech platform should integrate freedom money, is what he called it. Hashtag Bitcoin. So we all know that Elon loves Dogecoin. However, we also all know that Dogecoin is shit. So
he doesn't mind it, bro. He's talked about it. He's like, I like the way it runs.
No. But what I'm saying, Cade, their network can only support like 30 simultaneous transactions, bro. So how are you going to make Dogecoin the currency of a social media platform that's got like over 1 billion users when it can only do 30 transactions simultaneously? Sure. So there's no way that Dogecoin in its current form, the way it is at the moment, could be the only currency of Twitter. He very well wants to integrate blockchain. We see that. He's even tweeting it, but it will be a mixture. It will be Bitcoin, Ethereum, in my opinion, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, or maybe one or two others, right? But it can't be just Dogecoin. It won't work unless they do an upgrade, sort of merge and change their chain.
Yeah, I would not put it past him. I could definitely see that happen.
Yeah, that's easier said than done. We saw how long it took Vitalik to do that on Ethereum. I mean, it's complicated.
Yeah.
So we see Elon wanting to do that. Okay, so that's that. Bro, this is where I'm angry. Did you see this, Cade, today? The Twitter, the email that he sent to half of the staff of Twitter.
No, what happened?
Okay, so hold on. Oh, this is the email that he sent to half of the staff. Hello, and hold on, and this is the first correspondence he's had with the staff. Okay, hello. I was gonna do an Elon Musk voice, but I don't know how to. I wish I could. Can you, Cade?
Let's see. How does he sound like?
I don't know. It sounds a bit like a robot.
I don't think I can do it. Do you want me to read it?
No, I can read it, but unless you could do an Elon Musk voice.
Nah, I'll fuck it up. I don't even remember what he sounds like.
Should we make it British? Hello. As shared earlier today. Okay, that's Australian, I think. All right, anyway. Hello. As shared earlier today, Twitter is conducting a workforce reduction to help improve the health of the company. These decisions are never easy, and it is with regret that we write to inform you that your role at Twitter has been impacted. Today is your last working day at the company. However, you'll remain employed by Twitter and will receive compensation and benefits through your separation date of February the 2nd, 2023. During this time, you'll be a non-working notice period and access to Twitter systems will be deactivated. While you are not expected to work during the non-working notice period, you are still required to comply with all the company policies, including the employee playbook and code of conduct. Within a week, you'll receive details of your severance offer, financial resources extended beyond your non-working notice period. At the time, you will also receive a separation agreement and release of claim. So look, I understand very, very well about putting the business's one's business's requirements first. In the end of the day, if the business is not sustainable financially, there's no staff in 10 years' time, let alone half of them. So for the betterment of the business, I'm 100% on board with doing what you need to ensure that the business survives above any individual. However, to send an email like this out to staff is just unacceptable, in my opinion. Completely unacceptable. Staff are people with families, and to lose your job is very, very difficult for anyone, especially if you've got kids in school and whatever. And to get an email like this that is just so impersonal and so cold is an absolute disgrace. I don't care how many fucking billions you have, treat everybody with respect. And that's not being done here. And let me tell you, I respected Elon hugely, and I still respect him for certain things. But this is not the way to act. It's not the way to act. It's not the way to treat human beings. There's ways to do it. You can sit down, have group meetings with 15 people at a time, and person face-to-face explain to them that the company needs to make very hard decisions in order for them to. This is not acceptable. I'm really unhappy. I don't think this is the way to treat people.
I'm going to take the total opposite approach. I don't think there's any other way to do this. He came in because he hated everything that Twitter was being run, the way that Twitter was being run. And so a 50% cut, I mean, I wasn't expecting 50%, but I expected a lot of people to get fired. And my dad actually was fired from a tech startup literally 2 weeks ago. And he's like literally top of the game in one of the number one companies in Silicon Valley. And they fired him because it was just out of nowhere too. And like, this is happening all across the board in all tech companies, especially startups right now, but everyone's getting fucked. And this is how it's happening for everyone. So this isn't unique to Twitter or Elon. This has been happening in every single tech. I know it's not good. I know it's not good, but at the same time,
it's not that he's letting go half of the force. It's the way that he's doing it.
I don't see a problem with this though. Like, this is how I'd expect to get fired. This is how I've been fired. Like, I know it sucks, and that some people don't take it the way that, I might take it, which is just like, oh, fuck. All right, well, I guess I'll find a job. I also think that life's pretty much unfair as fuck. And this is more blunt and probably a little bit more too direct for a lot of people. But I don't know, man. I just don't have that much sympathy for these things. It's like this kind of thing happens. And like, I know it sucks, and I know people are humans, but like, this is just life. Sometimes you just get fired. And I don't know, man. I mean, when Elon came, if I was working at Twitter, I'd be preparing to get fired anyway. Like, if I was working at Twitter, I know he hates everything and the way it's being run. So I'm like, okay, he probably hates half the departments here. A lot of people are about to get fired no matter what, because he's about to make big changes. So I don't know. I'm indifferent as to that, but that's me personally. Like, if I got fired, I wouldn't mind being fired like that versus another way. But that's just speaking for me. So
when your dad got laid off, did they sit face to face with him?
No, he just got an email and they're like, done. Sorry. And he was like, a very important part of the company too. It was just, they were like, this department is not 100% necessary, so we got to cut it. And so that was literally how it happened. And
how did he react to it?
I mean, I'm sure his ego was hit because he was like, damn, I really got chosen to not come back. Like, that sucks. And he was kind of like butthurt for probably an hour. And then he was like, well, I need a fucking job. So I'm top of my company. I just have to go and find a job somewhere else. So now he's interviewing at different places. And hold on, I got to take this call or grab this package. I'll be back in 20 seconds. This will not take 2 minutes. This will take actually 30 seconds because I know they're right here. I'll be right back. We'll continue.
So, Cade, I completely disagree with you. I think you're wrong. And if I've been able to persuade you, then just keep quiet. And if you say nothing, then I know you agree with me. Great. Okay, so Cade and I are on the exact same page over here. This is not the way to treat people. I don't care who you are. I think that there's ways to do it that you still lay off half of your force if that's what's needed, but you do it with more of a human approach. and a more caring approach. Because I just don't think someone who's been employed by what's now your company and given of themselves, or any person, deserves to be treated like this. So I'm maintaining my stance over here. Let's see what we got in the comments. Let's remove Cade because you never know with him, it might be longer. Stop. He's giving you until February to find a new job. Yeah, no, fine. I understand. I understand what you're saying. I could find 5 jobs. I understand. It's not that he's laying them off. It's not that he's giving them severance. He's doing that's all fine. I just think it's so cold. I don't know. I just think it's so cold. I mean, this can turn someone's life upside down. I don't know. What's interesting is that we've got the, we're not technically in a recession, and some of the numbers that are coming out, the jobs numbers, are surprisingly decent. But there is a recession on the way, and we're starting to see a lot of tech companies prepare in advance for the recession, which we don't usually see. Usually, you enter a recession, everyone starts struggling, companies start struggling, and they start laying off. We don't typically see people saying, okay, look, we expect there to be a recession in the first or second technical recession, a proper official recession in the first quarter or second quarter of next year, and therefore we're laying people off now. And that's interesting with this time. It seems to be different than it was before.
Yo, what did I miss? Sorry, that was like the worst timing, but I needed to get those packages. I couldn't let those. I couldn't miss that one.
No problem. You completely agreed with all of my points.
Exactly that.
And you owe me $7,800.
Wait, hold on. So can we discuss it and like have a proper discussion about it, because we have separate opinions on it?
Yeah.
Because you're probably thinking more from like potentially an employer perspective, and I've never been an employer. Like I've never had, a dozen employees or 5 employees even. Do you think that has a difference in it? Like,
yeah, I think. Look, I've never obviously been employing 7,800 people, right? I've got 12 people on my payroll. So straight away, if I think that I've got to deliver really bad news, straight away, I think the most human way to do it is in person.
True.
It's face to face, and just play open cards. That's it. No matter what that news is, if it's negative news, play complete open cards. And so maybe it's because I've never had that scale or even close to that scale. Yeah. That for me, it just seems really, really cold to do it that way.
It might be. Yeah. Or it is.
It might just be that. Maybe it's that. So
do you think? I mean, he worked at Tesla, right? So he came from Tesla and SpaceX, which are his babies. He's already the main dude there for any. He's always the main dude, but he's run SpaceX and Tesla for the last couple of years, right? Being the main man and the guy who started it. This time he comes into Twitter, it's a different story, but he's still Elon, thinking like Elon, which is why I think for him, he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, oh, I'll just fire everybody, because that's how he does it at Tesla and SpaceX, because he's the main guy. And now he is the main guy at Twitter, but I think he's just going in with like an iron fist, and he's just like making sure people know that he doesn't give a fuck about anyone. And I don't know, like, and I mean, just in my experience, or not even in my experience, it just sounds like at a certain level of business, that's just how it is. Like, it's just cold. It's just like, well,
you see, I'm coming from just my small knowledge of how I do things. The other side of it is that I think people are people, and you should be treating. If I was interviewing Elon Musk, or if I was interviewing the waiter who helped me serve me or fill my gas, I want to try and treat those people the same, because just because someone is low on the ladder doesn't mean that, and I'm high on the ladder, doesn't mean that I'm better, and doesn't mean that I'll be higher on the ladder forever. I could very well be that waiter, and I've always been mindful of that. I've tried my best to treat people on any level, higher or lower than me, with the same amount of respect. Yeah. Other thing is that I know how important people are to a business. I'm very important to a business. Like, that's mostly what I do all day, is just deal with freaking PR, HR, human resources, people, and all of that shit, and find good people, keep good people, retained and happy. So I just think you shouldn't burn bridges with 3,500 tech guys either, just on a selfish perspective, because maybe
you might have to hire them back. Yeah,
2-3 years you scale, and now you need 3,500 people. No one in the tech industry is going to want to come to you. On the other side, if you're just looking at it from the business perspective, like you saying, if you're offering the best severance, the best pay package in the space at that time, they will come back to you. So I don't know.
Also, like, we don't know how it's being run. Like, we only saw that like statement, right, and like that article and stuff. Like, we don't know how it was run in headquarters. Maybe each team leader came and called a meeting with everyone who was fired and said, okay, like let's talk about, like, let's help you get another job. Like, you already have your severance package, but we're also going to help everyone who was fired who wants to apply. We'll help you get another job. Like, you're more than qualified, obviously, if you've been working here. Like, I hope it was like that for the exact reason you said, of having to need them to hire back later, which will probably happen. Otherwise they're going to go to Meta, and then Meta's going to fight them. Because I assume if Elon's taking over Twitter, he's gonna. I mean, I covered this in the stream, guys. If you didn't see the Tea Time episode about Elon and our Gobblers, but when he mentioned on multiple occasions that he's gonna think about, as a joke, bringing back Vine, that's not a fucking joke, dude. If he really does what I think he'll do, which is take over the world like Elon wants to do, and he has one of the biggest social media platforms, he's gonna take Twitter and try and make that a TikTok-like social media app. He wants people to be on there longer. The only thing Twitter is missing is video, and I'm fucking all for that. I'm like,
I don't see it.
I hope so. I hope it does. I'm putting it out there because I want it to happen.
The way I see it, I see it as he wants Twitter to be the Web3 town square, the town square of the future. So almost like another Discord, right? Like a better Discord. That's where the Web3 community is. He's Web3. He's in the trenches. He really does understand, not technically Web3, but he's a DJ. Right? He really is, right? He really gets it. Whereas you've got your Mark Zuckerberg, who's doesn't understand Web3 at all, is busy in his ivory tower in the metaverse somewhere, in his castle in the metaverse, and is not feet on the ground. Whereas Elon Musk is. So I think he wants, at least partly, I think he wants it to be the town square of the future being Web3. And I think we're going to see a lot of community stuff like a Discord being rolled out. Definitely NFTs, definitely crypto wallets, and a decentralized town square is what I think he wants to do. Don't think he's too. Yes, you can do video. Yes, you could. I don't think he really wants to go the TikTok social media side. I think he wants to retain what's there to some degree, but make it Web3.
I don't know, dude. Keeping it Web3 is like counterintuitive to growing to the masses, though. Like, you don't want to do that. It's like counterintuitive to grow the app. Like, you're gonna right?
No, because in 10 years, 15 years, everything's going to be Web3.
But that's what I'm saying.
So like to
grow a little Web3 niche app doesn't make any sense if Web3 is just going to go to the masses. You're going to need the masses.
No. He'll keep the masses. He's going to keep the masses. They don't need much. They're quite happy with Twitter as it is. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, maybe a bit less bots and spam, and a little. I think he's going to really foster the Web3 side of it. So keep what it is. Everyone's welcome, and you can still do the same things. You don't need a crypto wallet in order to be on Twitter. You can pay your $8 with a credit card. But he's going to continue looking after the Web3 side of it. So as we see, integrating NFTs, he's already talking about integrating crypto as a currency, and so on and so forth. So that when it does get there in 10 years' time, he's got the best infrastructure and loyalty from the Web3 community.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be focusing on revenue in the next few years, figuring out ways to, at least if not make revenue, to set out the roads to make that revenue in the next few years. So I guess, it's probably going to go in line with what brings revenue back to the business, which I don't know what
I think he needs to do that. I wonder if these 3,500 people that he's firing, because there's also legal action now that he can't do it like this and whatever. I wonder if there was any method to his madness. So what I mean is, was it just like the last 3,500 people who started working in the company are gone?
No,
or was there some way, how in a week can you see whether 3,500 people are performing or not?
Well, he knows what's not helpful, and he knows what needs to be. That's why I think Vine, the style of bringing back some video for more social, for people to spend time on Twitter, which video obviously will do that and get people to stay on the app. And then if he integrates tips, that's where people who are creators can make money off that, which brings revenue back to Twitter. I think that makes sense to cut out 50% of the workforce and add in a whole department for video and AI ad, whatever that's called, like ads and fucking videos. I think he's adding a department in there for that, because I think there's a ton of money in advertising from video, and Twitter doesn't have that option to grow with video really, because they don't have that algorithm. They don't have the department to do that. I think he fired a lot of different systems departments that just aren't bringing in revenue, and he's going to swap them for things that do. And that's why I think video is going to be that, because video inherently brings advertisers, and there's no really great way to advertise on Twitter that's going to bring them a lot of money without the videos.
Yeah,
so
advertising needs to be fixed for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and it could be. I imagine that he's not doing one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine the plan is to definitely increase ad revenue. I agree 100%, and that will incorporate video for sure. At the same time, move it more Web3. At the same time, keep grandma happy who looks at the news on it. At the same time, keep businesses who use it to update their customer. There's a lot that I imagine that he wants to.
Either way, Twitter's gonna be a fun place to be, and so that's good for us because that's where we live. So it's like, bet. I'm
Look,
down
it's
for
concerning. Cade, it's concerning to me for one person to be in charge of Elon Musk, to be in charge of like who can be on, who can be off. I don't know. I mean, it's a bit Stalin-like. I mean, it's not great. And the truth is, a DAO would be actually a great way to do this, right? To make Twitter proper decentralized, like proper. And hand it to the people while still increasing the things he needs to, the advertising.
And he could, if he have videos and advertising, he could do that. They wouldn't have to worry about the money.
Yeah, but the truth is that it is concerning that he doesn't like you. He can get rid of you. He likes me. He can put me on the front page. Whereas when it's a public company, there's oversight committees, and you're answerable to your shareholders. Now it's not that. It's now he can do whatever he wants, and while he's doing what's right, maybe that's fine. But I mean, it's hectic to give one person that control over such a massive platform.
Well, it's interesting now that you say it like that, because I didn't really think about it in that way, and I wonder how much social media affects that situation. Like, because of social media, Elon Musk can more or less do whatever he wants, and people still will follow him and they don't care, which has always been the case even before social media. There's some people that could do whatever they want. People still like, we're okay with it. But now it's like on steroids. Like, he literally can do anything he wants and it's fine. Like, there's just no, like, when you have that much money and that much access to influence and power, it's almost irrelevant. It just doesn't make any difference. And so because of that, I'm like, does Twitter just even if there's not all the right decisions that they make, is Twitter still going to grow and win? And does it even matter if it was right, if the goal is to take Twitter to the top or whatever he's trying to do with it? I don't know.
The scary thing is that if you think of all the major stuff that's happened in the last couple of years, Black Lives Matter, and a lot of the civil wars, the social media and Twitter specifically has been really instrumental in all of that.
Yeah.
Right. And the elections in different countries, the meddling in different countries. So I'm saying you've got a human being who's got his own views and his own. Maybe that's why I'm so disappointed with how he's handled this, because this is the guy now in charge of free speech on Twitter, and this is how he's treating people. So what happens when he wants ABC president to win and not Z whatever in whatever country? Let's say China, because that's where his factory is. He wants to try influence that for personal gain. And there's no oversight. There's no answer to anything. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever he wants, he could effectively, without anyone knowing, mute out anyone who disagrees with certain things and amplify anyone who feels certain things and push that through.
But I think that's what he's there to not do. I think he's there to not touch all that stuff, just to put it out there and let it sit.
But that's what he said.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm just saying, how are you going to know? How
Well,
you
if it
got
comes
one
out and
person?
they're like, "Oh, Elon's been blocking people and like making them shadow ban," it's gonna be like, "Oh, like well, that goes against the entire reason he took
He's
over
already
Twitter."
unblocking some people.
No, blocking people. If he's starting to block people, that he's like the whole reason he
No,
came on
but
the Twitter is so
I
that he
mean,
wouldn't do that.
you can get an engineer who signed a contract that he's never allowed to disclose anything to tweak the algorithm that it's showing a little bit more of people who are Democrat versus people who are Republican,
Well,
and that can have
but
a
that's why he
massive
took over because he
impact.
didn't want that. Like that was the whole reason he bought is to
I,
take that
I
out.
know, I know, I know. I'm just saying to have one person in control of it now that it's a private company
Oh,
is
true.
worrying.
Yeah.
It's worrying because there's no oversight to this. So that might be his intention until he feels very strongly about something. It doesn't matter what it
Mm,
is.
true.
One day and decides to, I don't know. It's
That's a good
scary.
point.
That's, yeah, if you got one person ever, too much power, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Have you
I'm
heard that
just
saying?
used to it. I think I'm just used because that's the last 5, 6 years on social media. We've just seen people do whatever they want, and I think I've just gotten used to it. I'm like, that's just how it goes. Like someone gets to the top and owns the big thing. They do whatever they want. People either jump on board to take some of that money off, like scrape off the top for some of the extra money, and also build a small platform for themselves on top of them. And then everybody else loses, and then they move on to another company, and then the cycle repeats. And so I think I've just gotten used to that, and I'm sort of desensitized. Like because I've seen him do whatever he wants, and then he keeps growing, and I'm like, oh well, fuck it, dude, just get on the Elon Musk train. Like that's kind of where he's at as far as his brand. People are like, look, you can bet against him, or you can just be like,
No,
well,
yeah, I hear you. I'm not betting against him. I just think you can still be human, you know.
Biden's people are watching. That's probably true. That's definitely
So
true.
what's actually interesting, a counterpoint to myself. Hold on, I'll just do this. Hold on. So a counterpoint to myself. So now I'm Cade arguing with myself. So apparently on the Twitter side of things, the Biden's officials were meeting with the previous public Twitter execs and trying to get in there and influence and whatever on a regular basis. So
Mm,
that's come out. I know that for a fact. Trevor Noah mentioned it the other day. So just so that you've got a source for it, because that's quite a big allegation. And that they were regularly meeting and influencing in some degree. So even when it's not one person and you had it as a public company with oversight, it was still being tampered with, right? Sort of like you said. You said that's why he wanted to take it over, because
yeah.
he wanted it to remain free speech. So yeah, listen, definitely interesting. Got its pros and cons. I'm bullish on it overall from a Web3 perspective. The fact that a Web3 native guy like Elon Musk has taken it over.
Yeah.
On a human perspective, I feel for the 3,000 whatever people who have lost their jobs. And I hope, as you said, that internally with their team leaders, it was handled in a better way than just
Yeah.
an email.
Well, there's
Like
also
this.
things that come out like people think he might be on the spectrum a little bit, so that's why he's blunt. He just doesn't care for the theatrics or the nuances or trying to worry about the feelings because that's just not something that's like part of his reality as
Yeah.
much. He just doesn't care. So like if you asked Elon Musk like, hey, how would you fire someone in real life in a room just with them? He'd probably be like the same way I just
You're
fired them
fine.
online. Like I would probably just
Yeah.
tell them you're fired and
So
sorry.
I do know that about him. So like I find him very interesting. Obviously, I think everyone does. So I do know that about him. I don't think he's even on the spectrum. I think he's definitely got that, like social
I think it's
cues and things
Asperger's.
like
I think
that.
it's what I've read.
Yeah, I think it might be. I don't know. I don't know if it is,
I'm
but
out of
that
my league
sounds right.
here. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I'm getting
not
canceled.
medical advice.
Not medical advice.
I saw a thing today that not fun,
Uh,
and it was just a tweet, but it basically a guy said that a lawyer said. So really, this is a problem. A guy said that a lawyer said, right?
fuck.
A guy said that a lawyer said saying not financial advice does not protect you from anything whatsoever.
That's what I've heard. I mean, what's her name got sued even after she put fucking hashtag ad in the ad. I'm like,
Paris
how are you
Hilton.
getting? How are you getting? Like, did I miss something on that one? Do you remember that story?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's yeah. And she
Whatever.
also sort of said not financial advice. She also said, obviously, I don't know what it's going to
She
do.
said all the things, and she still got sued, which it doesn't make any sense because I know many people who didn't even say those things and got away
Listen,
with 100 years.
anyone can get sued, Cade. I mean, I could sue you tomorrow. Whether there's merit to
Okay.
me suing you is the thing. So she got sued, and she decided not to even try fight it because she's busy, and $1 million is not worth a few days in court or preparing. So it doesn't mean that she was found guilty of it. She just settled out of court to get it to go away.
Speaking
It
of
would
$1
have
million,
been interesting if it had gone to court to see what would have happened. Yeah.
Speaking of $1 million, Bored Ape Club isn't not worth $1 million each. But have you been checking out the floor? Have you been looking to buy another Bored Ape and get back in, or no?
So it's not that cheap at the moment. Yes, they're 68 ETH, but in ETH is 1,600. So I've started since this bear market 4 months ago. I don't look at projects in ETH anymore. I used to only think in ETH, and it's a big mistake. I look at it as US dollars. So how much did I pay in US dollars? How much am I selling? Is that a profit in US dollars? So at the moment, at about $96,000, $97,000, they're not cheap. They're not cheap. They were 80,000 when I bought in. So anything sub 80,000 is a bit attractive to me. However, that was before I've realized that this recession is going to last a lot longer than we thought. Yeah. We're still having a war. The macro is still shit, is what I'm saying. Really shit. And this is going to be longer than we thought. And now Yuga's being investigated by the SEC. Yes, I think their hands are clean because they've done things right, because they knew this was coming. But that's another risk that wasn't there at the time when I bought a Bored Ape. So I actually don't think I would be interested in $80,000 at the moment. I would much rather get a mutant and not have 80,000 exposed, but maybe have $10,000 exposed. Because I do love Yuga, I do love the ecosystem. If anyone's going to make it, it's them. But I wouldn't, in this market, I don't think I would even buy at $80,000 at the moment.
True. What do we got next?
We got lots, bro. We've gone off on a bit of a tangent, which is great. It's Freestyle Friday, but I mean, we got lost. Okay, so Kwon's got a lot of headaches at the moment, right? So we all heard that interview, Cade, and you and I spoke about it briefly a couple of months ago, where he says he has yet to have been served with any official papers. He's not hiding. He doesn't know. There's nothing official that's been sent to him. So this is now a few months later. So that might have been true at the time. But this is an article by Blockworks, which I found really interesting. And they highlighted 5 official lawsuits that have been filed against Kwon as of now. So again, I'm not saying that this was in play when we spoke about it 2 months ago and when he denied there being any papers served. It's possible at that time there wasn't. But as we stand now, we've got, first of all, in U.S. courts, Scott and Scott, we've spoken about them before, a very big law firm, and Bragger, Eagle, and Squire have filed similar class action lawsuits in June and July, respectively, against Kwon and other affiliates on behalf of Terra investors. Okay, and they argue that he knew that it was a Ponzi scheme, and that it was a racketeering activity to support the profit of the scheme, which in effect is supporting himself, and that he knew that there was no sustainability to it. So that's what's happening in the US courts at the moment. Then we have South Korea, who's officially issued an arrest warrant for Kwon. So this happened 4 months after the Terra Luna collapse. And so that's in mid-September. What's that? Okay, so not too long ago. And he's wanted for charges relating to violating capital market laws. Then we've got Interpol, who's issued a red notice officially in September, meaning that he can't really travel because they want to locate and arrest Kwon. Mm-hmm. We then have a Singapore lawsuit. Doesn't seem too massive, to be quite honest, compared to how much was taken. But basically that USD investors say that there were damages resulting to $57 million in Singapore. And then we also have his passport's been nullified by the South Korean ministry of foreign affairs. So that's currently where we at as far as the legal action against Kwon.
Dude, after listening to that podcast with that girl, the reporter, bro, this man isn't telling the truth until he gets in court. There's no reason for him to tell the truth until he's in court. Like, he might as well just lie. It doesn't make a difference for him. He's literally on the run from fucking like FBI. Like, he's literally on the run. He's like a TV character or a movie character in real life, but he's this like cute little chubby like Asian dude. He's like worth $1 billion, and he's just
It
like
reminds
running
me of
away.
that funny show, The Hangover.
Yeah, dude, that's so.
He reminds me of that funny guy.
Dude,
that
just
really
every
funny.
time I see some like funny shit like this, or like whenever I see like on a Facebook video, like a car running from the cops, and they're like trying to get away, and he's going like 200 miles per hour on the highway. I'm like, is this real life? He's really doing this? I'm like, all right, I'm down. Like, this is kind of funny to watch. So, oh boy.
So look, I mean, I found Kwon. He's in Europe. So that's what South Korea is saying. They saying that they think that he's in Europe. So if anyone's looking for him, just head to that little place called Europe, and then you can have a look for him. But that's where people are thinking that he is. But no one really knows. Also, I said that $57 million is a small lawsuit. I'm not saying 57 million is a little bit of money, but there was $60 billion wiped out, right? So when you put it in that perspective, a $57 million lawsuit, when you're talking about $60 billion, is not a huge amount, right?
Yeah. Dude, this Luna story is just funny to me. I really don't have an opinion on it,
bro.
But
look at this. He's still being cocky.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand his angle here. Like, I'm like,
this is the 4th of November. I'll throw a meetup and a conference soon to get over this hiding bullshit. Cops from the world over are welcome to attend.
I just don't understand it. I'm like, aren't you wanted by the police? Like, how are you? I don't understand it. Like, maybe he paid off people. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So here's something really interesting. So this is an example of where our friend Elon Musk might not be able to maintain his free speech. Just as a complete random made-up example. He now is tweeting. Elon Musk could possibly have location notifications on because he owns Twitter. He could maybe see where he's tweeting from. Let's just say hypothetically that Elon Musk lost $1 billion in Terra Luna. He could now possibly anonymously tip off where Kwon is. There's an example of where having one person in control is a problem.
Bro, not even that. That happens with or without that. That happens all the time. We had what's his name? Edward Snowden fucking leaked government classified government files, and he was just a simple wrench in the system, the machine that is the government. That happens all the time. I mean, there's plenty of different departments that have access to information that we probably would be shocked about.
They would have to serve like a search warrant or a seizure. Well,
I'm saying notice. Like there's gonna be some type of repercussion for any of them all the time anyway. So I'm like, if Elon Musk does that, there's gonna be repercussion because that's illegal. That's like, I mean, I think it's illegal.
You can anonymously phone up. Hi, Interpol.
But that can happen anyway. That anybody could do that. Like, anyone at Twitter who has access to any kind of location services information could do that for anybody at any point. Do an anonymous tip off. Yes, like the risk is scary because Elon Musk could do it and probably get away with it. But that kind of stuff, I feel like probably just happens like around the world all the time anyway. Like, if people really wanted to find the Kwon, if it was really that big of a thing, I think he would be probably caught. Like, that's another thing that makes this case interesting to me, because I'm like, if he really is, like, if people really wanted to find him, I feel like they would. But I guess at the same time, like, they didn't find Edward Snowden, he got away. But like, I don't know.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Food for thought for sure.
Yeah, we're pretty much just going in circles about this food for thought because all these stories are running. So like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know all. Like, obviously, we don't know all the details. We don't know some of them. Like, we're operating on stories that only have the information that they want us to know, and we're debating on that information. So that's why I keep following up everything with I don't know.
Yeah. No. Fine. I'm with you. We don't know. We don't know.
It's just fun.
I mean, for all we know, Kwon might have handed himself in 2 months ago, and this could all
he might be right here.
Anyway.
He might be the guy who dropped off those packages.
Oh Jesus! The bad guy. Shut up. No, we can't have spaghetti bolognese.
Let me get 6 billion Luna tokens real quick. I need to buy Mutant Ape.
They're worth nothing, my friend.
Shit, you're right.
You need about 600 billion.
Let me get 600 billion. All right, he said he's down.
I'm not sure if you saw this. Cade, OpenSea now auto detects and blocks stolen NFTs, disable scam links. So they continued.
Wow.
They continue developing their AI. Sometimes you get an airdrop, and then on the description of the NFT, it's got a link. And sometimes you click, you think it's a website, you want to know what it's about, and that ends up being a scam link. So those links are disabled now. There can't be links there, which should have been done a long time ago. But I'm happy they're doing it. And they've also got it's not like stolen NFTs like you're thinking, but it's more like, let's say that you launch an entire collection of Bored Ape Yacht Club that looks like Bored Ape Yacht Club, like that guy did, Ryder Rips. He's gone quiet, hey? He's gone really quiet until now, and I haven't heard anything for 3 months.
Bro, he definitely got sued, and they were like,
yeah they were suing him, and he was being cocky about it, and now he's gone very, very quiet.
You can't fight the people with billions of dollars and think you're gonna win. Like, it's just that's not how it works. Not with that level of influence. He has some influence, but you gotta be really sitting pretty to be able to fight something like that off and be totally okay. I just don't think he had that level of influence where he could just do whatever he wants. I think it was funny for like a meme, but he didn't have. I mean, he couldn't have built the following and support of a community based the way he did it and be successful. It just wasn't It wasn't that strong of a community. It was just like some speculative information about some things that Bored Ape Yacht Club did or didn't do, and it just wasn't big enough of a thing to get people to put their lives in the line and Ryder Rips to kind of get away with everything and come out on top against such a big conglomerate.
Yeah, but he can still say hello once in a while. Anyway, he would not have been able to do this with this new technology, because OpenSea technology would have picked up that they looked almost identical to the Bored Ape Yacht Club automatically, and it wouldn't have allowed that collection to be launched.
Yeah. I'm just happy that OpenSea is doing something.
They've been doing a lot lately. Hey, they've introduced the analytics in their thing. They've onboarded like 5 or 6 other chains, NFTs of chains. They've been doing quite a lot. They've redesigned the front page. They've launched their launch pad like Magic Eden. They have been, to their credit, I mean, it took them, they sat there for a year and did nothing. But the last couple of months, they definitely have seen, I mean, the amount of marketplaces we're seeing popping up, bro. I've never seen anything like it. Yes, we only hear of 1 or 2 like Blur, everyone's heard about, but there are so many popping up. I think OpenSea's realized that the days of them having a monopoly are over, and if they want to keep their lead, they need to innovate, and they need to really put things that people want in place, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I talked to with Wacky from X2Y2 in that podcast. I was like, it's good that these marketplaces are giving them a run for their money. They're really, really stepping up now because they don't have a fucking choice. Like, they have it easy because all they have to do is put a little bit of effort in because they're already OpenSea. But X2Y2 pushes the envelope with this new thing, and then looks rare, pops out this other new feature, and then OpenSea is like, well, fuck, we gotta one up them. So I think it's good for everyone, and I don't think there is a world where one, does everything. Like maybe in the future, Amazon, OpenSea becomes the Amazon, but right now we're so damn early that we have no idea who it could be. It's like back in the day when Kik, if you guys remember that app, Kik was like a anonymous messaging app. We thought that was going to be the future of messaging, and then it just got replaced by basically WhatsApp and Telegram and all those other apps. So like, we have no idea who's going to be. We're just in the very beginning stages. So whatever you can do to kind of like, for me, like my angle with all this stuff is like, how can I put myself in good positions to be hireable / people want to work with me and contribute, because I not only want to document the process and the journey of the Web3 world and all that stuff, like I want to contribute if I can. So that's kind of why I've started to develop a couple digital products, reach out to a couple different companies, see if I can get some experience. Like, I'd be down even to join a team of a company and see if I can learn some new skills or give back or help build something, because it's just interesting to me. And so I'm making all kinds of videos. Like, I made that walkthrough of X2Y2 the other day. I guess I'm working on a couple things behind the scenes, but I don't know. Like, I'm just excited to be here. I'm happy that people are building things and doing things, not just kind of sitting around. So, like, we're seeing the builders do some stuff finally in the last like 3 or 4 months, and I don't know. It's a good sign. We're seeing a lot of.
I think competition's really good. Competition's really good.
Yeah, I agree.
It forces you to get your ass into gear.
Well, it offsets the bullshit we're seeing right now on Twitter, which is just like spaces of nonsense. Like, people are literally shouting about nonsense, like the most irrelevant bullshit I've ever heard. So irrelevant to like a week from now. I'm like, it's so not important what the things I'm hearing on Spaces, and it's because they're doing like 3-hour shows a day, and I'm like, there's nothing else to talk about, and it's just like people are sitting there and just have it like it's kind of like when I feel like a parent's talking about cartoons or something. It's ruining their brain. But I'm like, bro, it's not only is it ruining your brain, you could spend that 3 hours not sitting in a stupid degenerate space and actually teach yourself something or build something or create something or fix your fucking business or something. It makes no sense that you're in Web3 wasting your time listening to spaces that don't do anything and don't expand your thought horizon. It's just like meaningless arguing with influencers who like don't do anything other than just argue. And I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is this? All right. Back to the show.
Everyone's allowed to rant here. Alrighty. Okay. I don't know. What do you always say? I'm not sure. What do you say?
What?
When you don't have a comment on something, what do you say?
Oh, yeah, no comment. Or enough said.
No. You said it earlier because you haven't been following it. You don't know. Just say no. I don't have much. I don't have much to say about that. I think.
Okay. Yeah. I have said that before.
So I'll say I don't have much to say about that.
I'm just frustrated, bro. I'm in such grind mode.
This is the place. You go.
We're in startup land. Like we're in startup fucking tech land. Why are we in startup tech land and you're not trying to do like it's the barrier to entry to anything life-changing has never in the history of humankind been so easy, and you're in a niche world of Web3. So I'm like, you have to be a special type of fucking stupid and lazy to not take advantage. Like really, if you and it's even worse if you're here and still ignoring it. If you're not like fully aware of Web3, you're just kind of hearing about it's different. But if you're in and you've heard about Web3 and you see people like Mark Zuckerberg changing the entire Facebook to Meta, and you're seeing the richest people in the world with the most influence in the world and countries like Japan saying, okay, fuck it, we're in. And you aren't trying to make something of yourself. I have literally nothing to say. I can't even believe it. It like literally blows my mind that you're not trying to go 100 hours a week trying to build something. Like it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It hurts my fucking soul that people are going to sit around and literally watch this wave pass when people like us are yelling about doing something. You know, like just do something. It just makes no sense. You could be in 3 or 4 months, you could have a completely different change, a completely different life just by starting. And so, I don't know. That's all I have to say.
Cool. Alrighty. So then we have Game of Thrones NFT is coming. Yeah, I think it's pretty. How sick is this thumbnail? Well done, Bianca.
Let's fucking go.
I think it looks great. I just saw the effect of it now. Okay, so Game of Thrones, that little TV show. So this winter, HBO, Warner Bros, and Discovery will fire up a new way to engage with Game of Thrones fans and also generate incremental revenue. Warner Bros and Discovery Consumers Products Group announced plan for Game of Thrones Build Your Realm, which will let users purchase unique NFTs as well as trade and sell them. They didn't announce an exact launch date, but it will happen later this year, and they didn't reveal any pricing or any other details. Only that GOT, so that's what's going to be called, GOT NFT project, the media company, is teaming up with the NFTs, which operate an NFT platform geared around fan communities. So it seems like they're going to be launching an NFT collection to me. But yeah, I mean, I think this is cool. Another example of a very massive sort of brand, you can call them, that's seeing the value of NFTs and coming into the space. It's really lekker.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays as far as like, I mean, we're seeing it work with Marvel and like DC and like comic style things. I'm very interested to see when they break into this world, how it does. Because from what I've seen, it hasn't done terrifically. Like I saw Money Heist drop an NFT collection in Spain or something, and it didn't go over so well. So we'll see how it goes. It just depends, like what's being offered. Like what's the benefit of being in this membership?
So exactly that. They're saying all the right things. So like, for example, they're saying our goal, as always, is to create new ways for fans to interact with the story and characters that they love. Right. So they've got some gamification here, definitely. We're excited to expand the Game of Thrones fandom and franchise. And we're releasing a digital collectible program. Yeah, they're like Reddit, digital collectible that will engage fans on a deeper level, allowing them to immerse into a world of Westerners. So it sounds like to me that there's even like a metaverse thing going on here as well. And it's not like you're just going to buy the NFT of your favorite character in a different pose, but there's going to be gamification and an experience, because they say here, enhance the overall fan experience.
Yeah.
Right. Immerse them into the world of Westeros. How do you immerse them? Bloody the metaverse, bro.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Well, we shall see. It's kind of fun watching the different companies drop their projects in different ways, and just seeing how it goes over in the short term. I also am interested in, like, if it's a dud, if they pull something and it doesn't quite work, how do they respond? Do they try and in a year, or they spend the next few years like adding things to it, and then in a few months or a few years, people will go, oh shit, this is actually really cool, and then they continue building that? Or they literally just like, meh, fuck it, like, we're done. I guess that wasn't a hit. Like, we'll just kind of coast.
I mean, like, Cade, if we were advising these guys, I mean, the first thing I would say, as far as what you've just said to them, is do not charge a cent for anything. Obviously. I mean, like, obviously, they're big, they don't need the money. And the second that you charge someone to mint it, you've got what you've said, that potential of it not going well, and it actually ruining your brand to some degree, or damaging your brand is a better way.
Yeah.
So it will be, and that's what I imagine that they'll do, because I'm sure that they've got advisors who have brains. I hope so, especially Game of Thrones. I mean, I'm not saying that about all TV shows, because we've seen some really flop NFTs and how they've been rolled out. But definitely make it free to mint, and also that it's exactly like what Reddit did, from the perspective that it's not really about the NFT. It's about this thing that gives you access into this world where you can, interact. And that sounds like what they're doing. So it's interesting. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
NFT
it says here that also. It says here also that we saw that The Walking Dead have already done this. And not exactly the same, but done their thing. You were able to mint 5,000 one-of-one zombie NFTs. Did you hear anything about that?
No. The only thing I take when I read these kind of things, these kind of headlines and stuff, is to continue making lots of educational content, because you never know who's watching. You might meet someone who knows someone who's working the team, or they're working the team. They've been researching something, trying to figure something else now. And they're like, shit, we should bring this person on and chat with them, have a look, see what happens. So that's the only thing that I see, because my mind just goes in that direction. But I think it's cool. I like it.
Are available. We do package deals if you want the best of both worlds. I give the more sort of mature 40-year-old outlook, and Cade gives the more tapped into the youth outlook, right? So you get the best of both worlds.
I think those kind of projects could save a whole lot of time and money if they just spent like 1 hour working. Any person who's like, in Web3, especially as a content creator, I think they would save a lot of time and money.
I agree. But there also is, you can have the right strategy and you can execute it correctly. And depending on a whole lot of factors out of your control, it can also not do incredibly well, right?
Well, I've been telling people there's no reason to have a mint day. Like, mint day is so silly and not even unreasonable. It's just unnecessary to do a mint day the way it's been done the last year, especially in a bear market where the competition's not there. It's not like a thing. Like, you can just, like, kind of how my NFTs dropped, I just left them on OpenSea and let the market accept them if they wanted it, and people could buy it if they want. I think that process works better. Like, what if Gucci dropped 100 NFTs, or not Gucci? It would kind of depend on like the level of project or company, but you could drop like a small Genesis collection of a couple hundred. I haven't seen a strategy that works as well as that. I'm like, drop a tiny collection, let that grow and get like the proof collective, like let that, it doesn't have to get that level, but like let that grow in prominence, let people get excited about it. Obviously give those people access to the next drop, offer some actual functionality within the ecosystem, whatever your brand is, and then like let that build and do the work for you, rather than trying to like hype up this big mint day and then risk everything on 1 hour. And if people accept it on that day, you win.
Yeah,
I
understand.
So,
it does depend. It does depend on, for NFT projects. I think you've got a point for some of them, but like these bigger companies like Game of Thrones or whatever, they want to roll this experience out. In order to do that, they've got to get NFTs in your hand. So there has to be sort of a day everyone's got the NFT, then we can move on to step 2, using that NFT to give you XYZ or metaverse experience or whatever. But I do understand what you're saying. But the other thing, and it's completely impromptu, but it brings us straight into it. I really wanted to talk about this. Why the fuck are there still whitelists? I just think this is a really important thing to discuss, right? Because in the end of the day, whitelist came into effect in the beginning when gas was a big problem. Gas fees, we used to pay. I mean, I could vomit thinking how much we paid in gas fees. And when there were so many people in the space wanting to mint, that you would lead to a gas war. So the gas fees were already 100 gwei before any mint was there. A big mint would come out and would go to 10,000 gwei sometimes. And that just made no sense. And so the whitelist meta was born. You're now sitting in a situation for the last 4 months where gas is never higher than 20 gwei, so a couple of dollars, ever. And where every single project who's doing whitelist over-allocates. They over-allocate their whitelist. So you're not guaranteed your position to mint. It's almost like it's like not having a whitelist. What the hell is the point of the whitelist if you're not saving on gas? There's no gas issue, and it doesn't guarantee you the ability to mint. What is the point?
No, you're right. Someone asked me actually yesterday.
Should be scrapped.
Well, they asked me about like what are the alpha groups offering, and I was like, shit, dude, I don't know. Like unless you're in champs or emirs, like Darsh Echelon, I'm like, or Crypto Gorilla, like someone who's like very, very prominent and very, very relevant to where they're getting every single big project they're going to be able to get it. Bro, there's no way they're worth it. There's just no way. Like, how could they possibly make it worth it? And like people are like, oh, you make this much profit every month. I'm like, they're either lying or like I just don't know how they're doing it.
So I asked Kosha if his group has changed. In the last couple of months. He said a little bit, but in the end of the day, there are opportunities all the time. So he was saying that morning, he saw that art blocks was sort of not being spoken about. There was this drop that he mentioned, that they mentioned in their Discord. He got it for, I think he said 0.6 and he sold it for 1.2 in the same day. So if you know what to look for, and if you are like a trader like Kosher is, then there are still calls and there are still opportunities. Whereas before it used to be try get on whitelist for this project because it's going to 10x. That might not be so easy to call because good projects are not doing that. But there definitely are. I mean, like I can tell you right now, like we were saying, both of us feel it in our bones. Bored Ape Kennel Club is underpriced at the moment. We both feel it. We both said we're watching, and it's almost where we think we could pull the trigger. So are we right to the exact day? Could it go down 5%, 10%? Sure. Could it never reach this low again, and this is the bottom? Sure. But both of us know medium term with what we know is happening. So that's a call. That's a call. And if you're in our Alpha Discord and you get that call, and that's just an example. There could be a call at an equivalent at 0.1 ETH or at 0.01 ETH. Right, so
but is it worth it to be in there when there's hundreds of alpha groups that don't charge? That a lot of those calls, I'm like, I feel like a lot of people could make that call, and that's pretty standard. I'm like, you look at Kennel Club and to be like it's underpriced, or Gobblers and say it's underpriced. Like I don't think you need to have a paid group for most of the alpha happening right now. There's just not. I just don't think there's enough of a reason.
I agree. In today's market, when they launched, there weren't other alpha groups.
Right.
In today's market, everyone's got our Discord, my Discord. The Web3 show. Everyone is welcome. Come in. No, we don't take a cent from anybody. There's no channels that some people can see that other people can't see. And welcome. I give my opinion on things. Sometimes I make calls. I could be right, could be wrong, but you don't need to pay for that. We sometimes get whitelists. Don't know.
But also, when the alpha groups dropped, like that was at a time when the demand was there. So I remember reading something, and they were like, someone was, I think it was a Gary Vee talk, and the girl was like, should I bother with TikTok? What if TikTok fades in a few years? She goes, do you think people buying commercial space on Seinfeld episodes, worried about when Seinfeld was going to end. No, they just ran the ads while Seinfeld was popping. He's like, that's what you do. You capitalize when the attention's on it. And that's where like my opinion on Alpha sort of changed a little bit. I was really harsh in the beginning because I was like, the longevity of this is not possible because it's a forever NFT. For that reason, I criticized it because I was like, you're going to do this and in a few months, the market's going to crash and you're going to be able to offer nothing. And these people bought into this NFT. But at the same time, like, well, there's a lot of people who bought in, got a ton of value from it for what they paid. And then just like later on, like either the business model changes or like something's got to be upgraded. There's got to be some kind of adjustment period. So it just depends on like what the founder decides to do. I mean, I know some people changed it to a membership, which I don't know the ethics of that after you charge for the NFT project. If you can change it to a membership later, I don't really understand or know the details yet, but that one's tough, dude. I mean, I don't know, man. That one's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be the biggest value in the bull market was to be able to get whitelist on hype projects because there you were guaranteed a good return, guaranteed. And that doesn't apply anymore. First of all, it's a lot easier to get whitelist because less people in the space. If you've got a 5,000 collection, you need to try and get at least 5,000 who want to mint your NFT. And with there only being about 10,000 people who are actually like looking at their computers, it's not so easy. So you know, that's number one. And number two is that those projects are not even minting out. So the floor price sticks around mint price, and anyone who's there for a flip just doesn't pull the trigger because it's either just below or just above mint price is not worth the risk of it. And so, it's
I mean,
that's part of the reason
that's part of the reason I've really, really revamped my website a little bit. I'm still even revamping it and building some things to kind of explain because a lot of the new projects aren't realizing that these changes have happened and they're trying to still run the project like 4 months ago you should have. And I'm like, no. We're not in the same environment anymore. You can't run this the same way it's been being done. You have to change your approach. You have to change the first 20 seconds when someone gets to your website. There needs to be a different approach. That first paragraph can't be a little small. Like there's just got to be more like promotional things that get people to immediately get hooked, like clickbait, where they look at it and they go, oh, hold on, like let me see what this is about. Or like, oh, this perk is really interesting. Like maybe the first thing they see on the website is the specific perk.
Just have something on the site, like we saw with Meebits there, that just blows people away.
Exactly.
Like even with art Gobblers, when we were looking at art Gobblers, the way they've done that art that's cool. That's different. You can see that they've given it to thought and time. But it's not just the website. Everything has changed. It's no longer like you as the consumer are lucky to be in our Discord and get whitelist. If that's your approach, and you know,
which
like
that's everyone's approach right now,
bro. These projects that make you do tests. Like long, hard tests in order to stay in their Discord. That might have worked 6 months ago when there were 30,000 people trying to get a 5,000 collection.
And the founders get blown up because of the project and they get 100,000 followers because they're the founder.
Yeah.
That is not happening
that doesn't
anymore.
apply now where you've got 300 people in your Discord and you've got a 10,000 NFT collection.
You got to deliver.
And you make 300 do a test. You're going to be left with 3 guys.
Yep. It's something that you have to bring to them. They need to feel the benefit before they even think about anything else. It's literally all about it's partially about the funnel. Like it's about like what's the layout that you're presenting the information. It's the same information, but how do you present it to the public when someone comes to your page, your Discord, your Twitter, your website? And that's what I've started to build out on my company to start to offer some of those things for those companies because they're getting clobbered.
But also that your holders are your customers. That's what people are not understanding.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much. We could go on forever, but yeah, definitely. All right. You ready, Cade? Next one.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen this. Facebook and Instagram are now allowing for Polygon and Solana NFTs.
Dude, yeah. Oh, fuck. Let me lock my door again. Fuck. I totally forgot. Yes. Okay, so you can now create on Facebook or Instagram an NFT on Facebook or Instagram. Literally create one and sell it, or a collection or whatever it might be, and sell it on their platform for $. People don't need crypto. And just another example of it being easier. I don't think that any amazing projects are going to come out of this, especially not in the beginning. I'll be very careful about minting anything or buying anything on Instagram or Facebook at the moment. I would say if a company though, if a legitimate company comes and partners up with them, that our Instagram and Facebook want to help promote, that could be successful, but it would probably be early. It'd probably be like one of those first 25 to 50 projects, you know, like if a real company comes and it's like a partnered up with Meta or Instagram, that could potentially be something cool.
So what we typically see, and I agree with you, but what we typically see is that the things like a launch pad, like Meta having a launch pad for people to launch projects, that typically comes a couple of months, years after this initial step. You know, and yeah, this is more like for in our picture, this is more like for the individual mom who's got a Facebook store that sells whatever and wants to give her top 10 members an NFT or stuff like that, you know. Send stars to Anna Thomas. That's what I see there. I don't really see it for now as a launch pad for massive projects to, let's launch on Meta or Instagram. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's cool though. It's good that they're doing these things.
Yeah, for
They've
sure.
been slowly rolling them out.
Yeah, very nice to see. Again, very big influential social medias, Instagram and Facebook. Facebook and Instagram are both owned by Meta though, right? Yeah, so I mean, update to digital collectibles. Here you can see your MetaMask wallet on your Instagram account.
True.
You can see your NFTs. So it could also be cool, like if we know each other, Cade, but we're not Web3 native, and we want to swap NFTs or something, you know, and we trust each other, you know, and whatever. So literally friends, I want to send you one of mine, you send me one of yours, and I don't know, you know, necessarily like X2Y2 has that thing where you can do it, but I'm on Instagram and we can just easily transfer NFTs to each other.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to think yet. I just don't know like what people think about NFTs yet. You know, like on Instagram, I know there's a couple accounts that have really positive sentiment and have grown pretty well. All I know, Mike type, at least for NFT podcast clips, that's not something of interest for most people. The good thing is, like, I don't need a ton of people to see it. Like, the opportunities come from individuals, and so I just need one person, the right person, to see the content for it to pay off. But as far as like numbers, definitely Instagram is not like the craziest place for me.
Yeah, me neither.
Yet. Also, your TikTok is like folded. I tried to tag you in that clip I posted yesterday on TikTok. Your page is like gone.
I told you, Schmuck. I sent you a message saying that.
I know. I thought it was going to come back in a couple of days, though, right?
It doesn't come back. So I sent them a message. Gone. I sent them a message. I didn't get anything. I got a thing saying your TikTok's been taken down for violation of terms. So I went on their thing. I opened a thing. I said, "Hi, what terms did I violate?" So they came back. They said, "We've reviewed and we're not reinstating you." So I wrote back. I said, "That's fine." Like, I was never big on TikTok. It's not like you losing your TikTok, bro. It's like, fine. I had 100 people following me. I just started posting stuff. So fine. So I said, I've read your guidelines, and I did read it afterwards. And I can't do child selling of children and slaves. And I said, what guidelines? I acknowledge that you say that I've broken guidelines. Can you please tell me what guidelines I've broken? So then they come back to me and they say, please give us your account thing, which was on the first original. So I send it. And then they write back, they say, we've reviewed it and we're not. So it's like every time, it's all, even though it's in one ticket on my side, it's like it's a new ticket. So now I've been saying, hi, my name is Philip. This is my account. I'm aware that my thing's been attacked. I'm not asking you to review it because I know you're not going to reinstate it. Can you please just tell me what guidelines I violated? That's it. That's what I want to know. Why? Because I can create a new account and not do the same thing again. I just want to know what I did wrong. I still don't know what I did wrong.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought you were just banned for like a period of time.
No.
Did not know that. That sucks. Just make another one, dude. I'm sure it's probably a glitch.
My thing is that I don't want to make another one, put time and effort into it, which I haven't done on this one. I was just starting. But really put time and effort. And then the same thing happens when I've got 10,000 or 100,000. I just want to understand what I did wrong so that I know what not to do again.
It was probably a glitch. Like, I think it was probably a glitch. Like, that kind of thing happens every now and then. But also remember, like I just said with the Seinfeld example, it's worth it to post there. Even if you get, if like, I don't treat, like, I treat it sometimes. I look at it at TikTok as a platform with my own community, but I also look at every individual video as a resume, and I'm just sending it out into the ether. Like,
No, I
someone
understand
scrolling
the
and might see the
value of
video.
it. That's why I try to start. I'm saying if my style, something I said in one of the videos triggered this, I don't want it to get to a point where I repeat it and I really have a big following there and I lose it. So what I want to know is what I did wrong. Then I can start something a new one and not make the same whatever. But I don't think it's a glitch. They said they've and
When's the
even in the
last time you had contact
guidelines.
with them?
I messaged them again today to follow up. You know me, I follow up every day, and they take 2 or 3 days to come back. So
Got it.
I'll wait the weekend if I haven't heard from them by Monday. But they're just coming back. It's been like a circle since then. So I'm not really happy. I'm also not happy how they did it. They could have sent me an email explaining what I did wrong. And that's what I would appreciate, right?
Yeah.
Just to understand. Say, hi, we've blocked your account. You never allowed back. Great, thank you. This is the guideline that you broke. That's great. Just tell me what I did wrong. Then I know in future what not to do. So whatever. But as I say, I wasn't really relying on it too hugely. I want to understand what I did wrong. I want to come back on, but I want to make sure that I know what I did wrong so I don't repeat it again.
Word.
Okay. Boom. An NFT vending machine.
You mean we've talked about this before? It's one in Japan, right?
No, you and I haven't spoken about it. You might have spoken.
What do you
to someone
mean?
else.
At NFT London. Okay, it looks Japanese.
It's probably made in Asia somewhere. Web3 platform and multi-chain NFT marketplace MyNFT just announced its NFT vending machine will make its debut at the first annual NFT London conference. The event is scheduled to take place now. It's taking place 2nd to the 4th of November. The physical NFT vending machine is intended to make NFTs more accessible and give people a chance to buy and trade digital assets without a deep understanding of Web3. The vending machine lets users buy and hold NFTs without a digital wallet. Here's how it works. Like a regular vending machine, users must select one of the items on display and enter a code. In this case, the items are envelopes that contain a QR code that, when scanned, will help users set up a MyNFT account, which comes with that NFT in the wallet, the one that they just purchased. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's cool.
So,
like, I don't know. I guess I'm not sure. Like, it's just the invention. Like, we don't know how it goes into the market, like how it's received yet. If anyone's used it, but it's cool.
But,
like, the invention
but do you think there's a use case for it? So you've heard your friend talk about NFTs. You don't know levels of NFTs and BORED APEs and da-da-da. And you've always wanted one. And now you're walking around and you see this vending machine selling an NFT and you can have your $5 NFT. I'm not expecting this to be Cryptopunks, BORED APE, Clone X, Doodles, Azuki. That's not what I think is happening here. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the invention is cool. And I think it's a great step. Like, I like this idea because, like, when I think about the metaverse, these things are existing in the metaverse, and when you're running around doing whatever you want, it would be cool to run into this. Or if you have AR glasses and these are only available when you're looking at glasses and you're walking past a Target, and then you're like, holy shit, there's a vending machine here at this Target, one of the NFT ones. Like, let me just see what's up. And then maybe artists, like, maybe they can be sponsored by artists. Artists can sell their art in there. And, like, I would love to collect art pieces from vending machines where it's like, this is a real artist. You can check out their Instagram.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Or if you have an art exhibition, you could have a vending machine with only your NFTs. That's really cool, Cade. I like that.
That would be very cool.
I like that. Instead of, get our NFT, where do I get it? Well, you need MetaMask. There's a site, OpenSea, but just be careful. You should have Discord. No, here's the vending machine. There, you'll get your NFT and it will be in your wallet. I think it's cool. It's cool.
True.
As you say, I'm also not sure how it will be received, but even if it's not received well in this form, there's definitely future use cases for it. Like, we've just sort of stumbled upon 2 of them,
Yeah, sure. Also, I just remembered I just got an email from Binance. I tried to buy ETH on Binance and then transfer it to my MetaMask because it like for some reason MetaMask was like I forget what it was. It's like wasn't working, and then I tried to send my money from Binance, and it kept like giving me errors, like something to do with like you can't transfer money if you've logged in the last 5 minutes. So I just waited 10 minutes and went back and tried to do it again. Then it was like, oh, like error, try again later, and tried it again, didn't work, and so fuck Binance. I'm done. I'm never using Binance again. It's over. They've lost their chance. My $75 is gone forever.
That's how I feel about TikTok. Fuck them.
I'm just gonna have to withdraw it to my bank. I think it's so annoying, so annoying. I just wanted to have like a little bit of money in there because I'm minting Tsukimi tomorrow. It's like 5 in the morning. Do you know that project?
Bro, I'm sure it's on my list.
Check out Tsukimi and let me know what you think because I'm not sure if I'm going to mint yet. I think the mint price is 0.07. It doesn't matter to me
anything about the project. All that matters is the volume on the day of mint, like we were looking at that time. Where we
Wait, hold on, your audio got fucked.
It's because I tried to open my calendar to see if I got it on my thing. Am I back?
Say something again?
Testing, 798.
You're good.
Okay. So what I was saying is that it doesn't matter much to me at the moment, unless I really want to hold it for whatever reason. I need to see the volume on the day. Is the floor price at least 1.5 times mint price, assuming mint is 0.04? I'm not interested in it if it's 0.06 the floor, because after gas and after selling it and it might drop by the time I list it, I might walk away with 0.005. Oh, I might lose. It's not worth it. Is the mint at least sort of 1.5 to 2 times, and is there decent secondary volume, like a sale that I know I can get it done? That's
it's an anime project. It's got like an Asian theme. So
yeah, on the website where you check your thing, the girl's dress is moving, right?
I
you check your wallet on the website. Here, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
You do know what you? So you do know for sure?
Yeah, I think so. If you're saying the Asian one with the look, there's quite a few Asian ones.
It's got that gate. It's got that.
It's pink. The website's pink, right? The background with a girl standing there in a dress. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Not a dress. This is the one I'm thinking of.
Is there a girl standing there with a guy? Yeah, I've got whitelist for that.
Okay, yeah, me too. So we'll see what happens with that one. I don't even know where I got whitelist from.
Stay in touch.
Dude, that's literally 5 in the morning. Like, there's also a 50% chance I don't even make it for it.
No, I'm saying if you want any advice, it's not 5 in the morning for me. But I mean,
okay.
I personally don't know if I'd wake up especially for this one, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that like the one time I miss it, it's gonna fly to like 2 ETH, and I'm gonna be pissed. So I'm gonna try my best to make it.
So please, can you sleep in so that I can get a good mint?
Maybe I just won't sleep tonight.
First NFT CryptoPunk in the Guinness Book of Records. So this CryptoPunk is the first one ever that's in the Guinness Book of Records. This guy over here, the alien one that we've spoken about before. So Guinness Book of Records finally recognized the blockchain, introducing a CryptoPunk in its latest edition. The NFT that it represents is Proud CryptoPunk 5822. Got him over here. And the world record is the most expensive sale of a CryptoPunk to date. That's what they hold the world record for. NFT sold a momentous 8,000 ETH, $23 million US. This was at the market high of February 2022, before the dreaded crypto winter took over. 5822 is a rare alien punk. Can you imagine being the guy who bought the most expensive NFT at the top?
I'm not sure what I would think about that. I would probably be kind of annoyed, but it's like it can be a flex, just not right now. It's like it's pretty much only a flex when the market's healthy and it's like perceived as a good decision. Most of the time, I feel like people are probably clowning on him for spending so much money.
For sure, bro. But imagine that. Like, I feel bad if I bought a 0.1 NFT at the top and it's now 0.0001.
Plus, dude, that one's fucking ugly. Let's be honest. That one's fucking ugly. Of all the punks,
all the punks are ugly. I'm sorry.
That's false, bro. Look at the ones with the hoodies and look at the ones with the glasses. They look cool. I like punks. That's an ugly punk. I like punk. I've always liked pixel art, and I've always liked punks. I think that one's ugly as fuck. And to pay that much money just because it's an alien is I don't know. I think that's pretty silly. I mean, unless he really liked it or something, but there's just no way.
Bro, do you know how much you got to really like it? 23 million like it.
Man,
I mean, that's a lot of money.
Some next level wash trading right there, right?
No, I don't think that's the case.
You know who bought it? American or Wells Fargo bought it.
Yeah.
A bank.
Well, fam, to those of you who made it through, I see Crypto Dream made it all the way to the end. Just had to leave. Thank you, my brother. To everyone else who's been here, thank you. To those who joined and then got here, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow both Cade and I if you like what we have to say. And we look forward to seeing you next week for another amazing show.
Subscribe, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Have a good weekend.
Peace.
Be kind.